Did you know you have 100% control over what you show? Change up your displays, refresh your store's story with the ABCs of display. And they would be to ask the right questions with the ABCs that sell, be bold and brave, bigger is better, and cash in on creative communication. And that is the one that we're going to focus on right now. So C is control, 100% of the visual. Right now I have 100% control over what you see based on my hair, my makeup, what I'm wearing, what I'm sitting, where I'm sitting, the images that I chose for my slides, everything that I have here. I have 100% control over what you are seeing. And you have that same level of control over what your customers see, or shoppers or browsers or people walking by or driving by or people from across the street. You actually can control what they see when they glance over there. And that is what this is all about. That one chance to make a good first impression and draw people in and give them a shopping experience from what they see is the most important thing in merchandising display to increase sales. So you aren't discounting your displaying. So control your creative construction. Amuse, don't confuse. Your displays convince the customers to come in, take a closer look, and cash in on your displays communication. And you want that cash to end up in your till and in your pocket. So how to control displays? There's a few things to think about. Firstly, amuse, don't confuse. If you've ever looked at the old-fashioned newspaper, do you remember when they had display ads and classified ads? When you looked at a classified ad, you had to read every single little ad and you had to look, and really it took quite a bit of time to get through. But on the display ads, you glanced at the ad, there was space around it, sometimes a border, sometimes a small image, and that really caught your attention, and at a glance, before you even had to read the whole thing in all the detail, you had a good idea what it was about. Secondly, less is more. Now, this sounds strange for me to say because I'm always targeted to retailers that are so aware of the dollars per square foot that they have to generate that it sounds funny to say less is more. But I show you how to make less by grouping things in such a way that the groups are dense, but they're still shoppable and there's still space in between them. So you have the feeling that there is more space in the store, especially when you're walking around and looking. And then keep it simple. Sometimes the simplest things just repeated. So you get something in one way and you just repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. By repeating the display and the way it's set up, you end up being much more effective and giving a stronger statement, and there's way more impact overall. And you maintain your brand when you do that. And then change it often. This is one that retailers don't seem to get. They want to do things every month, once a month. Well, if you're going to do that, at least do it in the middle of every month. Don't do it at the beginning or the end of the month. My thing is, especially for windows, 2 to 3 weeks, never more than 2 to 3 weeks. And why is that reasoning? The reason is because if you're in an area where locals are coming by every day on their way to work or home or wherever they're going, same people usually, within a week for sure, they're going to get tired of seeing the same old thing. And after a while, they don't see it anymore. They don't even look over there. But the minute they know that you're going to be changing things up, they will pay more attention to it and look at it. And that's really what we want. So change things often. My name is Linda McKendry, and I help independent retail shop owners turn their stores into selling machines by using better displays and not bigger discounts. So don't discount display. That's the bottom line of everything I'm going to say. And of course, the seminars or the videos that you're seeing, the little series, they're all inspirations, all taken from the seminars that I've given on stage at trade shows or in corporations at their conventions and breakthroughs. And that is, we've taken them down. They're little 4-page seminars that were handouts, and you can have your own copy of one if you'd like. They're only $10 each when you go to todaysdisplays.com, and they're fun to look at. They're inspiring, and they're very educational. And keep in mind, I only had 1 hour and 15 minutes to put all this information in a seminar or a workshop. So it's quite condensed even in the handouts. And what you're getting here and what you'll get on the courses that I create with them is what was shown at the seminar itself for the PowerPoint and the demonstrations. Speaking of first impressions, 100% go by your windows, and this is where your cache starts. Even if you have an image, if they're going online to find where you are and to see what your store looks like so they can identify when they've arrived there, they're going to be looking at the storefront, at the windows, and you have a perfect opportunity at that point to do something in your windows that identifies you as what they're going to see when they get there or when they drive by. So I'm suggesting that you do that, and we're going to take a look at a couple examples of windows in our next slide. So cash in on your windows today. I want to talk about windows specifically because 100% go by, and you have a lot of control over your window. Here's a client of mine, Baby and Beyond, and you can see what her windows look like. She was actually started out in a fairly industrial area. Streets were really wide. There wasn't a lot of foot traffic. It was mostly drive-by or drive-to traffic. So that's what we were looking at when we opened the store. And then what we did is, this is what I came up with for the front. In other words, you've got typical kids colors. They're bright. They attract attention, and of course the background behind them is white, the white slat wall, which I absolutely love because it's so versatile and there's so many accessories you can use with them. So let's just show you some closer up visions of these. Going from the left to right as we're facing it, and with me taking the picture reflected in the glass, what you can see here is a little awning that just is really filling in space that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do much display in. And then we've got the color scheme happening here. And we have a hang bar here, which is a rod they use in garment stores. And we've just put a little kind of a pocket curtain around there. We've put a shelf on top, a glass shelf on top, so we can lay things down below eye level when people are walking by or stand them up there. And then, of course, hang things on the slat wall. Moving on, next one we have is yellow. We have the little bee costume or little bee snowsuit, I think it is, bunting bag on a doll, because the doll is like the prop to wear it, so we can stand it up and we can show the shoppers what it looks like. And you can see we have a toy here and we have socks here. So we're cross-merchandising and showing things from different departments with these themes, and they're basically a color theme. Here we've got the green happening in this one. We've got some props that are bigger is better. They attract more attention when they're big like that. And we've got products from several different departments here. And moving on, the last one, we've got the blue story happening. Here I just put one of her gift bags that was for sale on the wall there to fill in that space, to bring in the color scheme. She also carried games. And they're just fun windows for especially kids, and they're kind of down at their eye level. And then on the end wall, when people are walking past the store from one direction, you want to give them something to look at. Either give them nothing, because then they'll look at what you do have, or give them something that's going to relate to what you're doing but still have enough space around it and stand apart from it. This is a store in a resort town. You can see that light, bright, and white in the window. This is white, and every little cubby has a different product line in it, and that works because they're all separated and divided by these shelves in here. And then as you're walking towards it, people walking toward, this is what they're going to see first, coming from this side. And then you can see the signage that they've put on here that tells what all they carry. And this carries on from here to here and along on there. And I don't have my pointer. Okay, get my pointer. This carries all along in here, so that it really sends the message that this tin box store incorporates all of these windows are part of their store, and that is their entrance. So that's really working well. Now here too, you can sell these items or change them up a little at a time. So you're not going to be doing too much work to keep displays up all the time. And yet you're changing things up enough that when people come by, they're taking a look. Here's an example of a great, very simple display in a big window. And what we're using here is a poster backdrop, very large poster that I would suspect is provided as point of purchase by this Paisley, this company called Paisley. You can see that this store carries their product because they've got samples of it here, but the picture is larger than life. It's in a home environment. It's where it's going to be when the customer buys it, so they can picture it there. And then you've got the textures happening, and it's a backdrop, so it's stopping your eye from looking at everything else, so you're incredibly focused. And of course, the lighting is really good. So that's an excellent example too. And so what I want you to do is walk a local mall or retail street and pay attention to what makes you slow down or even stop. Now, I'm not a browsing person. I'm a shopper. I'm a destination shopper. So when I don't shop for entertainment. I don't even do retail therapy. I'm usually purpose-driven when I'm going shopping. So I can be marching through a mall, and I'll tell you, if something makes me stop, I really pay attention to it because I'm the merchandiser. And when I'm wearing my merchandising hat, it's different than when I'm just doing my business and going around my day. And so I will stop and say, what made me stop? And I will evaluate it and identify what it was in there. That is what made me stop. That caught my eye. That is interesting. Oh, look at, I wonder how they've done. And I walk right into it and look at it. And sometimes I look beyond it into the store, and then next thing you know, I'm in there looking at stuff. And sometimes asking questions too. So ask yourself, what made me want to see more? Because that's what we want to do for you, for your customers. So I want to offer you a retail resource, and this would be a copy of my book, The Organized Retailer. And what it really is the story of Velda and how she transformed her store using my 4 merchandising keys to boost sales 70% over 3 years, and she was able to sell her business then. You know, it's easier to sell your business for a premium price when it's profitable and operating well and looking good than it is when it's struggling, which is when most people want to sell it. And here are some of the things she said. More productive staff, every item had a place, reducing wasted steps and maximizing efficiency, organized supplies, engaging display. She said customers browsed longer. They found add-ons easily and spent more. And these are her words. Thank God she said things nice about me. And streamlined customer service. You know, even the checkouts, we look at what the checkouts look like visually and how they're going to work efficiently. And the strategic merchandising ensures seasonal sell-through. And that's what you want more than anything. You can't go out and buy new products when you don't have the cash to pay for them. You've already paid for everything in your store. So take a good look at it. Follow some of these principles. Keep me in mind and watch my videos as much as you want because there's more coming. And we will talk to you soon. Bye.